What's up guys, Asian here again with another Trials Guide video, and today we're going to be going over Yolnahkriin hard mode, and I will be discussing the differences between hard mode and non-hard mode like I did with the Lakesti's guide. So Yolnahkriin is the fire dragon in Sunspire. It's typically speaking going to be the second boss that you face. Most groups will be doing Lakesti's first and then Yolnahkriin. So just like with Lakesti's, just starting things off first here with kind of a reality check. There are some soft DPS checks. The lower your DPS is, the harder and harder this fight's going to become, particularly on hard mode. So on non-hard mode, very similar to the Lakesti's, I would probably recommend 35k, 40k. You could probably go down to 30k for Yolnahkriin, but then you're kind of being a little bit too low for Lakesti's, so I'd probably say around 35 to 40k self-buffed on a 6 million dummy. It's kind of where you want to be sitting at. For hard mode, you definitely want to get at the very least 50k, 55k to be safe, self-buffed on a 6 million dummy. Again, this is just because of those soft DPS checks, especially on hard mode, where it actually becomes quite difficult the longer it takes to push Yolnahkriin between each flying phase. So just like Lakesti's, he does have 3 flying phases, so they come at 75, 50, and 25%. So a lot easier to remember, so they're at even intervals. Every quarter health he will do his flying phase. And again, this is from the main tank perspective, just like the Lakesti's video, so there will be some mechanics where you won't necessarily be able to see what's going on, just because the off tank is dealing with it, or the main tank just doesn't have anything to do for that mechanic here. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started here with the fight. So, just like Lakesti's, and pretty much any boss in the game, he has his light attack, he has his heavy attack, and he has his fire breath. So that was his heavy attack. His heavy attack will leave this AoE on the ground here. Now, you can dodge roll the heavy. I have managed to dodge roll the heavy and completely avoid damage. That being said, it's a little bit tricky, it's a little bit buggy. Sometimes the animation is off from when the damage actually occurs, so you are kind of risking it a little bit by dodge rolling. So at this point in the game, I'm just eating the heavy and just walking out after the AoEs pop down the ground. So just keep that in mind if you're the main tank. You can dodge roll it, but it's usually better just to eat the heavy and get out of it, and just make your killer work a little bit harder, basically. Now, you will see here that there is a yellow AoE on the ground, and this is focus fire. So basically what this is, if you guys have done Cloud Rest, it's basically like the Sororia bomb mechanic. It's the Sororia flare mechanic. The more people that are in it, the damage is shared across everybody, so you will take less damage the more people are in it. That being said, with every hit of focus fire that goes out, it will apply a stacking debuff on you. Now, this debuff will basically make you take more damage from each subsequent hit of focus fire. So you basically need to heal through this, and you will see here that we have 2 separate stacks. We have the what I like call a wing stack, and we have another head stack. You can also call it left and right, depending on where your tanks are and where your DPS are standing. So basically, focus fire will go out randomly to a person with the lowest number of those debuff stacks. So with these 2 groups, you have 4 DPS and a healer in each group. The off tank will be all the way in the back, have to deal with all the iron intronects and the flame intronects that spawn. Main tank is obviously doing his thing with Yolnahkriin. Now, the off tank should be far enough away that it will not get targeted by focus fire. So there is a range, so if the off tank is far enough away, it won't get targeted by focus fire. Main tank has taunt, so the main tank will never get focus fire either. So with 5 people in the group, you can survive focus fire, as long as you're able to focus heals, obviously. And then once those 5 people have the debuffs will last for 45 seconds. Focus fire goes out, I believe, every like 30 to 35 seconds, so it'll go on the other group now. The other group will get the debuff, and then the first group will no longer have the debuff, and so you just trade back and forth who gets the focus fire group. So it's really important to stay within your stacks, and it's really important to make sure you have 5 people within the stacks. I have seen groups survive with 4. We personally have done it before in Mayflower, but it's a lot safer with 5. So that is focus fire, and if the off tank happens to be targeted by focus fire, he pretty much does it almost immediately once the fight starts. Just pick a side. It doesn't really matter which side you go to, and then you just want to get really way in the back. That way you don't get targeted by focus fire again. Next thing is going to be, so this is his fire breath. You can see that he has quite a long charge up time. When he rears his head back like that, that's when you know he's going to be breathing fire on you, so you have plenty of time to prepare what you need. Blade Cloak for major evasion, the Blur for Nightblade tanks, Vicosa if you're using that to make sure to time it so you get that major maim. So very easy telegraph for Yolnahkriin. Now, just like Lacassi's, he will summon a couple of adds. So you did see that that little line of lava that went out. That is where the Iron Atronach is going to spawn. Iron Atro, very similar to Ice Atro, has an obscene amount of health for an add, so DPS are just going to ignore it until the flying phase, and we'll explain why in a little bit. This is hard mode, so Navitas is going to be coming down and helping out here. His hard mechanics basically time stops. You can just eat it. Does a little bit of damage when it goes off, and you need a CC break, but it's not that bad. You can always get out of it too. And then the next thing is Fire Atronach. So whenever he does this move, he kind of rears his head back and kind of like shoots out multiple little fireballs out. Great little AoEs on the ground. Out of 2 AoEs, you're going to have Flame Atronachs that spawn. Off tank is way in the back, and she's going to chain in those Fire Atronachs. Now on non-hard mode, you can pretty much ignore the Flame Atronachs. They don't really do all too much. They will, when they die, they will leave a lava pool. But on non-hard mode, you don't really need to worry about it too much. You can just kill them while he's in the air and basically get the lava pools cleansed by Pyroclasm. Now on hard mode, the Fire Atronachs after a certain period of time will dive down to the ground and turn blue. Now if you guys have done White Gold Tower, you know blue Fire Atronachs are not good. Basically, they'll go down and chase a random player down. And just like usual, when they die, they will leave a lava pool, and when they get to that player, they will explode, basically self-destruct, and do a lot of damage. So on hard mode, you will need to have DPS turn around and focus down those Flame Atronachs once they're in the back, because they still drop those lava pools, and obviously lava pools in a DPS stack is not a good thing. So you want those lava pools to be in the way in the very, very back. Typically speaking, that'll be one of your 2 groups. It's either going to be the wing or the head group. Now, it's very important that you guys stick as a group in case focus fire goes out. So make sure you stay clumped together, and if focus fire goes out, you just stay clumped, get the heals going, so that way everybody gets the same stacks of focus fire, and you have enough people to survive the focus fire stacks. So right now, the Fire Atronachs are spawning, our off tank is pulling them to the back, and then you can see the time stop there, so that's the time stop from Navitas on hard mode. You can see that the wing group is going to back to deal with the Fire Atronachs. Once the Fire Atronachs are dealt with, they pretty much go back to their stack, and continue to DPS Yolnahkriin. See here, Focus Fire came out, so it's on the other stack here. And that's pretty much the entirety of the fight. Now we're going to skip ahead up to the flying phase, which happened at 75%. So now he's flying. You can see here's the Iron Atronach. He does hit fairly hard, so if the off tank, just make sure you got some, maybe throw some heals back there if you're a healer. But your off tank should be able to survive this with pretty much minimal help from the healer. Maybe a shard or an orb here or there for resources, but on non-hard mode, you should be able to do it pretty much by yourself. On hard mode, you might need some assistance from the healer depending on how comfortable you are with the fight. These are the lava pools that are left behind when the Flame Atronachs die. They are very, very similar to the lava pools that are created in Bloodroot Forge, except they don't shoot out fireballs at you when you get close to them. Now, when Yolnahkriin flies up at 75, 50, and 25%, everybody basically needs to go out to the edge of the arena, and you'll see why in a few seconds here. We're going to continue the video here. Now, the Iron Atronach, as you can see here, has a lot of health. It's about 9, 10 million health or so. Not very feasible to burn it down. However, Yolnahkriin is going to be doing something that's going to help us out here. And it'll also help us out with the lava as well. So once he flies up, you see this giant AoE forming on the ground. He's going to do what's called Cataclysm. Not Pyroclasm. Sorry, I called it Pyroclasm earlier. So Cataclysm basically is giant fire breath on the ground. You step in it, you're going to be roasted. I've never tried with magma armor, but I'm not going to be testing out that theory anytime soon. You'll see that as soon as it goes out, it cleanses all the lava that's on the ground. Anywhere in the arena, lava is gone. And the Iron Atronach does get stunned while Cataclysm is going out, and it will enrage. But in doing so, it'll also take a lot more damage. If you just keep an eye here on the health, you can see it's going down very, very fast here. But it is enraged, so you do want to just be mindful of that. Off tank, make sure you're dodge rolling any attacks that he's doing. And then from there, Yolnahkriin will land, and you just basically rinse, lather, and repeat. Now, he will not land where he was. He actually turns clockwise, so from where he is, if you call that north, he will go east, then south, then west. So just be mindful of that. He's never going to be landing in the same spot once he's done with his flying phase. And then from there, again, it's just rinse, lather, repeats. There are no changes at all between the flying phases and between his ground phases. It's always the same thing. Focus fire. You have the Iron Atronachs, the Flame Atronachs. And so the goal is basically you want to make sure to get only 1 Iron Atro and 2 Flame Atros to spawn. They'll always spawn 2 Flame Atros. Sometimes he'll bug out and only spawn 1. But Usually he'll be spawning 2 Flame Atros, so you want to make sure you only get 1 Iron Atronac and 2 Flame Atronacs. They do spawn on a timer, so that's why I recommended getting 50 to 55k DPS for hard mode here, because the more Fire Atronacs you have, as you can imagine, the more lava is going to be out there. It gives the off tank less room to move around, and you are running the risk of having the lava kind of inch and creep into the DPS stack or where the main tank is standing. So, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, very simple compared to Lakestes, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's any less dangerous. Low DPS groups in particular are going to have a very difficult time with Yolnahkriin, both on non-hard mode and hard mode. So I do recommend, again, getting at the very least 35 to 40k DPS before you try to do Yolnahkriin on Veteran. So that is it for this video. If you guys have any questions about the fight itself, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Hope you guys found this video informative, and I'll see you guys in the next dungeon.